New tonight, Republican poll watchers called 911 from the Travis County Clerk's office today. They claim they're shut out of the ballot counting process.
The sheriff's office responded and says they are still processing a report about this incident. We expect to hear more from them tomorrow morning. This is not the first time poll watchers accused the Travis County Clerk's office of obstructing them from watching ballot counting. KXAN investigator Jody Barr reports on a criminal complaint filed against the clerk's office.
Well, that criminal complaint was just filed in September, but it deals with the July 2020 runoff election. In that complaint, multiple poll watchers claim they were not allowed into the ballot counting room here. The Secretary of State referred the case to the Texas Attorney General for criminal investigation. Republican poll watchers say the room they crowded into to make sure ballots are handled and counted properly felt like a holding cell. In July, some of those watchers weren't satisfied.
I was in a glass box. I could not hear any conversation. People were doing something which I could not identify what. All video screens that had any information were out of my sight.
John Wood and his wife Cornelia Foster are two of three poll watchers named in the complaint. One watcher claims he wasn't allowed into the room at all. Aside from actually watching a vote being cast, Texas law allows appointed poll watchers to monitor every aspect of voting and ballot tallying and counting. The purpose? To provide the public another set of eyes in an effort to maintain election integrity in Texas. You're saying that you were disallowed to execute those duties in July of 2020?
I'm saying we're completely obstructed, yes.
Did you have any way at all to verify that the rules were being followed and that the integrity of this election was being maintained?
We were dolls in a box, disconnected from the process.
The Secretary of State's office received the poll watchers' complaint in July. 2 months later, that office's elections director, Keith Ingram, finished his review and sent a formal request to the AG's office asking for a criminal investigation.
I haven't heard a word.
Travis County Clerk Dana DeBeauvoir says the AG's office hasn't contacted her.
This was a complaint that said that a poll watcher had not been allowed into the poll watching area. So I sent a photograph of the poll watcher standing in the middle of the poll watcher area over to the Secretary of State's office. And for some reason, they felt it necessary to send that photo of the poll watcher in the poll watcher area on to the AG's office.
Are you surprised that after you sent that photograph over that the Secretary of State continued its pursuit of a criminal investigation into this complaint?
Yes, I'm very surprised. That's not normally the way they behave, but perhaps it's just the times.
DeBeauvoir would not show us those pictures and would not approve our request to see the so-called media room where the watchers stand. We went and found it Monday afternoon. It has 4 windows looking into the counting room from where this group of poll watchers stood. We also found DeBeauvoir inside the room, but a staffer told us we couldn't come inside and shut the door on us.
We have a whole room that's been specifically built in the middle of our counting station. It's got double doors on one side and windows on the other 2 sides of the doors so that the poll watchers can watch the electronic part of the processing and tallying, and also the scanning part, which feeds the paper trails and the by-mail ballots through scanners.
But this photograph provided to us by a source details at least one of the poll watchers' complaints. They cannot clearly see the monitors. As far as hearing what's going on in this room, the clerk says she installed a PA system that feeds into the media room that was used in July. The clerk says another reason she sequestered the poll watchers was to protect her staff.
They can't go and stand on top of the people doing processing because it's COVID and we don't let them breathe on top of people. But you can see everything from inside the room.
John Wood and Cornelia Foster believe the clerk is finding excuses to keep the public shut out of the process.
Things that are hidden can never be trusted. And I think that's the situation we're trying to remedy.
Well, I spoke with the head of the Travis County Democrat Party. They tell me their party had no issues with the poll watcher accommodations here in Travis County. The Attorney General's office, though, would not confirm nor deny whether they have started this criminal investigation. But obstructing a poll watcher is a serious crime in Texas. If convicted, could face up to 1 year in prison and up to $4,000 in fines. From the Travis County Clerk's Office, Jody Barr, KXAN Investigates.
We want to remind you, if you see something wrong at the polls tomorrow, we want to know about it. Send us your tips, your questions, and pictures and videos to report it at kxan.com.